Well, let's bring in Dr. Lewis Herrington, who is a terrorism expert from Loughborough University. Well, thanks so much for joining us. What do you make of the Twitter comments by Donald Trump wading in on the terror situation in the United Kingdom?
I think President Trump is really referring to what we all seem to know after an incident, that police or security services were aware of this individual. He appeared on the periphery of a previous attack. It seems to be the pretty much common narrative that happens. So I don't think he's given any sort of intelligence away. I think he's simply suggesting or stating what seems to happen after every single incident. So it's...
So unfortunate in those 140 characters that sometimes the tone maybe of what he's trying to say gets lost. Now, it seems that the improvised explosive device malfunctioned in some way. Do you think it could have been a lot worse, couldn't it?
I mean, looking at the size of the device, if we look at the size of the devices used in the London July 2005 attacks, it clearly seems to be quite a lot bigger. But what's interesting, of course, is that this wasn't a foiled terrorist attack. The device simply failed to detonate, which suggests that the reports that we need more police resources holds a bit of weight. The presence of a timing device. Jihadists don't use timing devices, which is quite interesting. We have seen in all of the previous terrorist attacks over the last 5 years, it's about murder-suicide. What's going on in this situation where the individual is using a timing device? It can only be that he's either planning to flee to Syria or more attacks are planned within a short space of time.
So a lot then for the authorities to start thinking about.
Yes.
Based on what we know so far, the kind of device that it is, where this has happened, do you think that you have a closer idea of who might be behind this?
Yeah. A year ago, a young man called Damon Smith had a very similar situation, a device with a timer attached, and that was in Greenwich. Parsons Green does not spring to mind as a kind of target that you would expect. You know, this isn't Oxford Street, this isn't Westminster, this is Parsons Green. What's significant? It's as insignificant as Greenwich. Yeah. Both use timing devices. It wouldn't surprise me if this turned out to be just a maladjusted young teenager. And it's interesting that we've not heard any police raids. If this was a suspect that was on intelligence databases, then within hours of having the CCTV, they would have matched it, and Twitter would be going alive with pictures of counter-terrorism police raiding. There'd be a video of them raiding. No reports of any raids. I think this is someone unknown, and if it's someone unknown, then it may not very well be a jihadist terrorist.
But doesn't that make it harder then to track down where they come from and those networks, especially when we're seeing an increase in these homemade devices? Yeah. People could be doing them anywhere, in their sheds, in their gardens. It's worrying.
How do you know whether a man's going to wake up tomorrow morning and suddenly decide to drive a vehicle into a crowd of people on Westminster Bridge? No matter how much intelligence you have, you don't know. You can't read in the minds of men. And we are seeing a specific increase in individual lone wolves. We've noticed that pretty much since 2013 with Michael de Blasio and the killing of Soldier Lee Rigby. Low tech, very unsophisticated individuals, sometimes in pairs, but more often than not, this isn't an organised thing. This isn't as it used to be, say, during the IRA. This is completely different. It's certainly not like the plots in 2004. It wasn't like the airline plot. It's not like the London bombing. It's not like the 2012 Birmingham group who are in jail now. It's very much individual men, who were previously emotionally unstable, who became stable, like Khalid Massoud, the Westminster attacker, as being part of a fundamentalist group, suddenly one day went completely off trolley. And that's the difficulty for the police to work out who poses the greatest threat. MI5 are, I think, 300 active cases, thousands of suspects. How do we take that database and work out right now, today, who poses the greatest risk? It's an almost impossible task.
Almost an impossible task. Well, Dr. Lewis Herrington, thank you very much for your insight.
Thank you very much. My pleasure.